I can generate a tissue culture in orbit in a 3D because there is no gravity. You must go to the microgravity environment, space, in order to generate those crystals. We can defeat diseases instead of using antibiotics. If you can hit 70 to 80% concentration within our crystals, we can triple the time between administration.
Did you know that there is a race to manufacture in space? Because of zero gravity, today we're talking about how space is the new frontier for pharmaceutical drug development. Picture this, a shoebox-size lab orbiting the Earth at 28,000 kilometers an hour, growing human tissue 22 times faster than any lab on Earth. They create crystals with unique properties that are just not possible on Earth, again, because of gravity, which means for you that life-saving drugs that normally take 15 years, we can get that down to a couple of years. Cancer treatments, not available for decades, now available quicker. Welcome to the Israeli Trailblazers Show, where we uncover the innovators and visionaries who are improving your lives in ways you just never knew. I'm your host, Jennifer Weissman. Today, how one incredible company is using space factories to help you heal faster. My guest is Yossi Yamin, founder of Space Pharma. While Elon and SpaceX are building Starfall, Yossi has already proven that this works. Let's dive in. Hello, Yossi.
Thank you, Jennifer.
It's a race to develop manufacturing in space. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So, very simply, in space, how does removing gravity change the way we can create life-saving drugs?
On Earth, there are elements and they are not equal by weight. In orbit, if you take those elements to space, about 500 kilometers above us, you're going to face that all elements are equal by weight. Fascinating, very simple. And now try to build this molecule based on those elements. You can generate different shapes. Different shapes means different efficacy. Different shapes means different patents. Different shapes means different therapeutics, different medicines. And that's what we would like to see, all coming from space.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. Space Pharma has been doing this since 2012. Elon's just getting into it, right?
Thank you for the comparison. We are not Elon, of course, impact or amount of funds spent on this technology, but we definitely bring something unique. We are the brain within the vehicle, right? We have the vehicle built by Elon Musk, the power, the capacity, the re-entry to return, the reusability. Imagine that you can go to your industrial zone above you, taking your liquids, and we are talking only about liquids, convert those to be crystal shapes, means solid state, bring those back with different, the elements, the nanoparticles are much more unique by viscosity, concentration, shape, and that's what will make our life much better. Because if we know how to lift up all this amount of liquid, we can bring it back as a medicine. And I would like to focus on another thing. Each chemical has its own bioreactor, means where are you gonna implement this reaction? On Earth, you can have a bottle, you can have a glass. In orbit, you don't need any bottle or a glass to host liquid. It will stay by itself, very liquid still. For example, let's take an egg. You crack the shell on Earth and it will smash to the pan, right? Down. Yes. You crack the same egg in orbit, the content will stay very circled, the yellow inside, the liquid behind. This is the protein that we use to take to space. Now we would like to intervene. We would like to implement something within this egg. We take a needle, we hit the yellow part of the egg, Let's say we inject blue color and we get a green color, right? We
Yeah.
generate reaction. Now imagine that you do that remotely. No people, no robots. We are focusing on the liquid elements. So it's streams of liquids that maneuver one beside each other and generate fascinating shapes, which are the medicine. And for that, we call monoclonal antibodies crystallization. We can do that for any small molecule, for any monoclonal medicine, and in the future, we will be able even to generate creatures in space.
Creatures?
Yes. Of course, they are not looks like us, but they are representing us. For example, I can generate a tissue culture in orbit in a 3 dimension because there is no gravity. And that means I can take a few stem cells to orbit, let's say up to 8. A few of those will represent, let's say, a lung cancer. And by that, this organoid represents a patient with a lung cancer. Now, it will generate in a microgravity environment, means in a 3D by nature, no power, no energy, no scaffolds, nothing. It just generates by 3D, by nature. And then we start to hit this cancer with medicines. And we are observing that with sensors. We change parameters within the genetics, within the concentration. We mix maybe something else within the medicine. And by that, we can do a personalized medicine in orbit.
Let's just unpack this a little bit. So you have this crystallization process that happens in a zero gravity environment. And because it's easier to make those crystals in zero gravity, can you make the crystallization on Earth? It just takes a lot longer. Is that true?
Sometimes it takes too long. Sometimes you cannot do it at all. So you must go to the microgravity environment, to the space, in order to generate those crystals. It will not go on Earth.
So you go to space, you generate the crystals, you observe the reaction of what you insert into the organoid, and you record its results. And this process is in high demand, obviously, for pharmaceutical companies, where they can spend much less money in much faster time to market. Is that correct?
And reach different shapes, means different pattern, different concentration, different viscosity. There are many attributes associated to this crystal, which you cannot achieve on Earth. There is no way that you can make it on Earth.
So this crystal that is only achieved in space and can create new formulations of pharmaceutical products. So maybe not a pill, but a shot. And maybe that's easier for a patient to tolerate or take it home instead of an IV. Is it something like that?
That's exactly what we are bet on. We would like to make the life of the patients, which are horrible, for a better user-friendly administration. So no more hospitals, expenses on real estate, shifts. So you need a medical doctor, a nurse. You need to spend energy to reach the hospital back and forth. And then you are calling the insurance for reimbursement for the patient. But in our case, the hospital is no more in the loop. You stay home, your comfort zone, while at home, it's where you would like to get your medicine. It's user-friendly, closer to your family, no need to spend energy on the back and forth or way to the hospital and back. And in this manner, we provide better life, better quality of treatment. You need to go every 2 weeks to the hospital to take an IV. In our case, you stay home, like you use the insulin for diabetes.
Yes.
You inject it as subcutaneous under the skin. The nurse stays 15 minutes and then can go to another patient, okay? So we move the nurse, not the patients. Another important thing is that we can extend dramatically the time period between administrations. While IV required bi-weekly IV treatment in the hospital. If you can hit 70 to 80% concentration within our crystals, we can triple the time between administrations. So not every 2 weeks, every 6 weeks. Now imagine that you have 5 days of side effects. If you go every 2 weeks, it's 14 days, minus 5 days of side effects. The quality of life are only 9. If you go every 6 weeks, and which is 42 days, and now you deduct 5 side effects days, you stay with the longer than a month's quality of life. So patients will vote, we want this medicine because we stay home, our relatives, our comfort zone, we have less side effects periods, and that's what we are willing to get. And that's the beauty. The patient will select the administration method.
So the crystallization process is the sweet spot. That is the secret sauce here.
Yes. The secret sauce is something that we add to the formula, but we never touch the chemical string. Means if we touch it, we need to go all the FDA from scratch. If you don't touch it and only the shape and the administration is touched, you need only 2 to 3 years to extend the patent and to keep the market open. And this is the beauty of Space Pharma.
Okay, so Space Pharma is not involved in long clinical trials that have to be reviewed by the FDA. You're short-circuiting that. You're saying J&J, for example, has a lung cancer drug that requires a patient to come into the hospital and get an IV. We're going to take that, we're going to crystallize that medication and give it an easier formulation for the patient to use at home, easier, quicker, and this formulation does not need to be approved by the FDA. Is that what you're saying?
We still need some FDA reapproval for the administration, not for the entire drug. So we need to pass toxicity and few tests of efficacy. We don't need mice anymore, so we are keeping the animals safe. We need organoids, and it could take 2 to 3 years. And at the end, this medicine is secured to be administered to the body, to patients, to humans.
Are there drugs out there right now that you've done this with?
We did 2 already, but there are many more that are in the pipeline that we are very capable to implement in space. There are some issues. Even today, there is not enough power in space. There is no space inside, for example, the ISS to host our technologies. A year ago, recognized as the first ever builder for Europe to build the factory of the future. We call it SPACtory, Space Factory, to mass produce millions of human doses per year per medicine.
That's incredible. We're living in the future with Space Pharma. It's absolutely incredible. Question for you. Pharmaceutical companies, I would imagine, would be lining up to get their drugs in your space factory to create a new formulation that will come out quicker. What would be the reason that they might be concerned about using Space Factory?
There are concerns. For example, if you are signing a contract to produce a drug, you need at least 15 to 20 years of delivery. Means they want to be sure that you won't stop to deliver after 3-4 years. So to sign up a contract is a very long period, 20 years, because you have 2 to 3 of the FDA approval, and then you have 15 extended years of the patent. So it's about 18 years per medicine. Crystals are very, very unique and talented creatures. We see that. They start from liquid, then they generate seeds. Then you have like infants, grown ones, elders, and those who dies. And every single change of pH, temperature, something that they touch of the surface of the capillary, or even season that people are not aware of, might cause them to disappear. So you need to keep them in a very solid phase that they will be within the chain supply of the pharmaceutical. So the pharma would like to have certain period between demand to the supply. And that's something that we don't have yet. So if from demand to supply, there are required 4 weeks because they don't want to have tons of medicines within, storage. They want it fresh. They want it from order to demand in a certain period. They want it sustainable, and they want it all over the world. So if they take it to airplane, they will survive the flight. If you take it in a car, it will survive the transfer. So they will not disappear. And that's something that we are taking care of. It's not a simple task.
Space Pharma does the lab work in space, but you don't actually bring the product from space back to Earth, do you?
We don't. We rely on, suppliers like Dragon of SpaceX. In the future, there will be few mini shuttles like the Dream Chaser from Sierra Space of Sierra Nevada, or the Space Rider from Europe, and probably many others. So we rely on those transportation vehicles, spacecrafts. Within those transportation, there is our units, our modules, thermal controlled, liquid handling, many sensors. We can manage the software, we can intervene, and we can supply a lot of activities to the clients inside.
So we're talking about something that seems like a science fiction movie. Are people outside of your space, actually talking about crystallization? Because I've never heard the concept before, but it seems like that's the whole ball game here, is the crystallization. Yes. So
crystallization. As I know, there is the only company in the world that could crystalline a medicine, and this is Merck Sharp and Dohme, MSD from the US. They did it for the Keytruda, which is a blockbuster, $30 billion annual sales. The others are trying to find other trick to, let's say, freeze the liquid or provide it as like instant coffee technology, that it will melt into the blood or subcutaneous. In our case, we know how to crystalline molecules in space. We focus on that because at the end, in our technology, once we gain the crystals, we can cup them in a jar and send them all over in a room temperature. They will not melt, they will sustain the drive, they will sustain the journey, and they will go only in the body in a certain level of reaction with the blood subcutaneously and start to be dissolved. And this is fascinating, and it's changeable from one medicine to another. It's not similar between medicines.
What you're doing now with crystallization technology in space is actually something that could affect everyone on Earth. Once you get this to commercialization with pharmaceutical products far and wide, this is an example to me of Israeli visionaries and Israeli thinkers being able to think outside the box, outside of gravity, and create something for mankind. What is your background, Yossi, that made you come up with this idea?
I used to run space national assets in orbit, and I realized that we can transform hydrogen, which required to maneuver satellites, from liquid phase to a gas. And I thought to myself, if I can convert in orbit liquid to gas, I can do liquid to solid. And let's try it. Why not? Right? I went to a friend that worked for a big pharmaceutical, and I told her, listen, I'm going to convert liquid in space to solid. And she asked me, really? I told her, yes, I will do that. And can you add oil to the equation? I told her, of course. But oil will not go to the surface. It will stay inside, let's say, the water molecule. And at the end, you get a very homogeneous structure. If you can convert it from liquid phase to solid, you can run a medicine to any body part. And that's amazing.
What did your friend say? Was she shocked that this was even possible?
Indeed, she was astonished. But now, after 12 missions to space, if I will tell her that my molecule can cross a glass, she will believe it. Because it's
Wow.
happened.
What's your greatest success with Space Pharma?
I think the greatest success that the awareness is now start to be accepted by more and more and more players. We start with pharmaceutical, but I got last month a request to crystal milk. Why?
Wow.
Need
Why?
that. And when I talk to the people who ask me to crystalline milk, they told me, listen, it's so beautiful. You can take a cup of milk instead of powder, melt it, and then you have the real milk in concentration, dietary milk, in colors. Isn't that amazing?
Is that for food manufacturing or
Food,
something?
right? I didn't know
Wow.
it can impact even the food industry. But when you go back, you see FDA, Food and Drug Administration. So we can do also food. You know, we pay less on food, but still we consume more food than drugs. So it should be some way very trivial to do food in orbit. That's what I really like to see. More and more disciplines using the technology. More and more discipline believes, hey, how come we didn't think about it before? A lot of things. Those are crystals.
What are the top 5 things that you would use crystals for?
I would use it for medicine, for food, for super additives, for chemistry or chemicals, polymers, and to pesticide fields. That's where I would go. And this is all that we need.
It's the whole world. It's so exciting what you're doing. My dad is 89, and I was on the phone with him, and I said, hey, I'm going to talk to this man who on the show who's done this amazing crystallization work in space. He says to me, oh yeah, I saw about Starfall with Elon is going to be making this in space. I guess my point is this stuff that was crazy talk a few years ago is just mainstream now. Everyone's talking about the use of space. And it's just incredible. Israeli mines have been there for decades.
I think life science in orbit is another place where we should focus on. It means to generate tissue cultures in space, like skin, like meat, like tissues that can be embedded to body parts to cure diseases without any involvement from outside. And there is also within the company few projects on that with top pharmaceuticals to generate tissue cultures that hide within those pockets of compounds that once the sensor detect cancer on the liver, on the lung, on the heart, they start to generate the medicines automatically. You don't know even that you have a disease.
How does that actually work?
It's work between a group of people from Harvard University and another big pharma. They believe that if they will integrate chemicals into tissue culture and generate the tissue, and then under surgery embedded it to the body, it will stay inside the body as a sleep agent. And once this agent recognizes a disease, like cancer, like something else, it will start to activate the compounds that was hidden within this tissue. We are part of it already.
You're already part of this.
Yes. June 2026, it will be in space because we need the tissue in a 3D dimension. The need to have it in a 3D is to verify there is no hidden biomarker that is masked by gravity. So we need to censor all the culture and to detect all biomarkers and to know where to intervene or where to hide those pockets of elements. To let
It's
them
incredible.
Space pharma inside all means in the body, in the food, in the medicine. It's not Intel inside all like computer science. It's something that we, for the first time, can integrate 3D reactions, humans and space to survive, to generate quality of life. I heard from someone that it could be even national security because we took bacteria to orbit, the first one in the world, by the way. And in order not to risk the astronauts within the ISS, we put those bacteria within our little cube laboratory. We have CubeSats in space, belongs to Space Pharma. and we let bacteria to grow inside and to detect the conjugation. Conjugation between bacteria means how they communicate. So if we can defeat and cut the communication between plasmid to plasmid, we can defeat diseases instead of using antibiotics.
Where is Space Pharma in 10 years? 2035.
Every person on Earth would have his control in space, the opposite. Today we go to space, we learn, and then we have the control on Earth in a lab. In my imagination, I see us surviving when we take our genes to space, because space is very clean. There is no impact of sound, there is no impact of pollution, there is no impact on culture, and by that we know if we're gonna hit by a disease because of our body in space. So it will be the opposite. We keep ourselves safe in space and learn on our body on Earth if we are going to hit by something because we smell something on Earth that cannot be in space. But at the end, our control survival device will be biological. In orbit, we will keep ourselves there. If we need something, we go grab the right genes, the kept ones, and fixed our life on Earth, because we destroy our life on Earth. Every day that we live, we destroy our life. But if we will keep it in a safe room in space, we can bring back genes, cells, whatever is needed, and fix ourselves. That's what it will be.
That's unbelievable. Thank you, Yossi. Space drugs sound very futuristic. Our Israeli trailblazer like Yossi, miniaturization labs are curing diseases and helping people, slashing development time, saving millions of lives. If this episode made you think differently, please hit subscribe and share it on all of your socials. I'm Jennifer Weissman, and this is the Israeli Trailblazer Show, where Israeli visionaries like Yossi and Space Farm make your world better in ways that you never, ever imagined. Bold thinkers, big ideas, your better life.